In the headlines, Buhari approves 24 billion naira for modular irrigation project. Soldiers beat police officer to death in Lagos State as army begins probe into incident. Gunmen kidnap 3 children, demand 100 million naira ransom in Kogi. And on the foreign scene, U.S. declares monkeypox a public health emergency. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashin Husseina Usman. Now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved 24 billion naira for the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASI, for the execution of a smart modular irrigation project. The Executive Vice Chairman of NASI, Professor Muhammad Sani Haruna, disclosed this on Friday after a private meeting with the President of the State House in Abuja. The NASI boss told State House correspondents that he was in the villa to brief the president on the activities of the agency as well as present the agency's financial report as requested by Buhari. He explained that the agency has begun the manufacturing of the Made in Nigeria helicopters and experts have been trained for mass production of the helicopters. President Buhari had in 2021 approved the 1% of the Federation allocation be allocated to NASI to fund the agency's activities and engineering innovations. Soldiers attached to the 81 Division have beaten a police officer to death in the Ojo area of Lagos State. The acting Deputy Director of 81 Public Relations, Major Olani Oshoba, confirmed the incident on Friday. According to him, the division has instituted a board of inquiry to probe the incident. The Lagos State Police Command spokesman, SP Benjamin Hundeyin, equally confirmed the incident. While details have not been released by either the police or army authorities, multiple reports claim that the soldiers were on their way for a program at the Ojo military cantonment on Wednesday when the incident happened. The soldiers, who were on a bus, reportedly got stuck in traffic around the trade fair area of the Lagos-Badagry Expressway when they realized that traffic was caused by officers attempting to make a way for a truck driver to link the expressway. The soldiers came down from the bus and confronted the policemen. This resulted in a heated argument, with the soldiers reportedly taking some of the police officers to the barracks, where they beat and tortured one of them to death. The Kaduna State Commissioner of Police, Yekini Adio Ayoku, has called for continued support for the police to enable the force deliver on its mandate. The commissioner, who was represented by ACP Ibrahim Nladi of the Kafanchan Area Command, stated this at the graduation and passing out parade of the pioneer set of students of Police Secondary School Tumkagoro in Kaura local government area of Kaduna State. He called on the graduating students to use the training they received in the institution to better their lives and be good ambassadors of police. In his remarks, the school commandant Solomon Ntawaye Ambatu commended the senator representing Kaduna South Senatorial District, Njumatela La, for sponsoring the school project. The senator representing Kaduna South Senatorial District, Njumala, said the police secondary school Tumkagoro is one of the best things that happened to the people of southern Kaduna in terms of educational development.
One of the constituency projects for this senatorial district, I was verbally cited here in Tumkagoro, Kaura local government area, following a keen competition among others. Several interested senatorial zones at the end of the competition, our senatorial district was selected by a dean of God's special favor. To him alone be all the praise and honor. It was designed to have a primary secondary school section right in the secondary school compound and the main primary school at Kafachan. The primary school section in the secondary school compound is fully operational. Well work in the main campus at Kafachan is in progress. We hope, therefore, to establish this school, both secondary and primary school, as the center of excellence.
You all imbibe the training, both academic and discipline you receive in this institution. The police is a disciplined organization. Wherever we are, wherever we associate with, we associate in terms of discipline and dedication. One day we will meet some of you on the way and we say this is our student that we have trained. And these students are well trained and they are also inculcating the discipline of the
Gunmen have kidnapped 3 underage children in Ajaokuta local government area of Kogi State. They're demanding a 100 million naira ransom. The police public relations officer of the Kogi State Command, William Aya, confirmed the abduction on Friday. In a statement, he said the Commissioner of Police in the state, Edward Ibuka, has deployed operatives of the various police anti-kidnapping units in collaboration with vigilantes and hunters to trail the kidnappers in order to rescue the children and bring the perpetrators to book. The 3 children, whose ages ranged from 3, 5, and 10 years, were on Wednesday evening around 8 o'clock kidnapped at their residence, Kaduna Estate, Ajaokuta Steel Township Complex, by yet-to-be-identified gunmen. Eyewitness reports reveal that the kidnappers, who were fully armed with guns, shot sporadically to scare residents away before they abducted the children. Men of the Ondo State Security Network Agency, the Amotekun Corps, have apprehended over 150 suspected invaders of northern extraction in Akure, the state capital. The persons were intercepted around 6:30 a.m. on Thursday along the Akure-Ado-Ekiti highway during a stop-and-search operation by the Corps. The drivers of the 2 trucks conveying the invaders claim that they are coming from Abuja, Kaduna, Katsina, and Jigawa states to Ondo State. While addressing newsmen in Akure about the incident, the commander of Amotekun in Ondo State, Adetunji Adeleye, disclosed that they hid under bags of rice and beans in the trucks, noting that they could not tell their mission in the state. He added that some charms and photographs were found on them, while the motorcycles in the possession did not have valid papers. Adeleye explained that the travelers will be interrogated and profiled before sending them back to their base. 4 persons, including a traditional ruler, High Chief Mikaela Bello, have been abducted by gunmen on Thursday evening while traveling back from Akure, Ondo State capital, to Ikare Akoko. The incident was said to have occurred while the victims were traveling along the Agokpanu axis of Owo-Ikare Road. It was gathered that the driver of the vehicle conveying the victims tried to maneuver his way out but was shot while trying to escape from the gunmen, while 4 victims were abducted and taken into the forest. The driver of the vehicle was said to have been hit on the head by a bullet, is now receiving treatment at an undisclosed hospital in Owo. Confirming the incident, the State Police Public Relations Officer Fumilayo Dunlami said the detectives from the command have been combing the forest in the area to ensure the release of the victims alive. Minister of Information Lai Mohammed asked Google to block terrorist organizations from YouTube. He made the request when a team of Google visited him in Abuja. The minister, who noted that Google is a platform of choice for IPOB, a proscribed terrorist group, implored the tech giant to deny IPOB the use of its platform for its act of violence and destabilization. He said Nigerians are among the most vibrant social media users in the world, with over 100 million internet users in the country, and that internet platforms such as Google, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and WhatsApp enable Nigerians to interact, share, earn a living, and participate in social and political affairs. Responding, Google Regional Director, Sub-Saharan Africa, Government Affairs and Public Policy, Charles Morito, said the platform has introduced a program called Trusted Flaggers for citizens trained to track and engage with online content to flag contents of serious concern. The Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria says that the National Broadcasting Commission had violated its own laid-down procedure when it sanctioned Trust TV and other pay TV platforms. In a letter to NBC and signed by BON Executive Secretary Dr. Yemi Gbangboshe, the organization says the NBC was required to wait for a response from the affected stations before slamming them with 5 million naira fine for transmitting TV documentaries that were considered offensive to government. Bond pointed out that in the case of Trust TV that aired its documentary on March 5th, its executives were summoned to the NBC's headquarters on August 3rd and handed letters of fine contrary to the 14-day frame provided for in Section 14.2 of the Code. Bond is therefore asking the regulator to withdraw the fines imposed and adopt a two-layer disciplinary process on matters pertaining to the violation of the code. 4 persons have been confirmed burnt beyond recognition in a road accident Friday on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, while 16 others sustained injuries. The accident, which was said to have been accused by overspeeding, resulted in loss of control while the bus rammed into the median strip and burst into flames. According to the Public Education Officer of the Ogun State sector of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Florence Akure, the incident was a lone accident that involved a Mazda bus with registration number. The injured victims were said to have been taken to Victory Hospital, Ogere, for medical attention. The sector commander of the FRSC Ogun State Command, Ahmed Umar, has, however, advised motorists to obey traffic rules and regulations. You're watching Trust News Update, coming up after the break. How technology affects the business of a 60-year-old blacksmith. Do stay with us.
That's great. It's good to see you.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. We told you that Buhari approves 24 billion naira for modular education project. You also heard that soldiers beat police officer to death in Lagos State as army begins probe into incident. Moving to more news, there have been calls to scrap the compulsory one-year youth service due to hazards posed by insecurity to members of the National Youth Service Corps. But stakeholders are insisting that the scheme is very crucial in promoting unity and patriotism in line with upholding decorum in national discourse. Stakeholders rather want the scheme to be totally overhauled or of its weaknesses. This is in line with the tremendous role the scheme has played in the lives of Nigerian youths and its contribution to some critical sectors of nation building since inception.
We are aware that the management of the NYSC has done tremendously well in securing of core members during their service year. We must also admit that various security measures introduced over the years by the NYSC management have been noteworthy in the sense that incidences of threat to lives of core members have reduced drastically compared to what was the case in the past years. Therefore, it remains an illusion on the part of the advocates for the scrapping of the NYSC, which in our opinion was brought about by pecuniary gains rather than the relevance of the issue at hand. Our support for the operation and reforms in the NYSC remains unflinching as worthy partners in progress. We believe that with the right incentives, the NYSC will remain that critical agency that will address the challenges experienced by youths in the country to transform their hopes and aspirations into tangible realities.
Blacksmithing is one of the oldest occupations in Africa. It has for centuries provided humanity with skills to fabricate objects out of iron. However, the art of blacksmithing goes beyond hot and nosy environment. It is a source of livelihood for many, which is at the risk of facing extinction. In this report, Trust TV's Kabir Lowell takes a look at how a 60-year-old man struggles to keep up with the business as technology is overtaking the craft. The report.
Blacksmithing in Nigeria is an old, long occupation. It is found across all tribes. It is mostly practiced by men and transferred from generation to generation. However, this is fast disappearing as many find it to be a cumbersome procedure that requires strength. Yakubu Ibrahim, a 60-year-old blacksmith in Abuja, said he has been into the blacksmith business since 1986 when he started in Jos, Plateau State capital. He said he cannot pass over the business to his children as they are all in school to secure a better future than his, adding that although he has people working for him, it is difficult to keep up with the technology.
That time that we didn't finish work, this one is just surplus for ground. We just go to the and be packing it. And anywhere where we go, we just begin to buy. Later, we begin to buy small. The aluminum said, you know, even it's 20 naira that time. We started to do it like small, I did for penny.
The blacksmith further added that the prices of raw materials needed to produce objects have skyrocketed, making the business to slow down.
Federal government now, what they can do for us, like this one now, some other we have engine to do, but this one is a local one, you blow the fire and merge it. If to say the engine there now and the measurement there for ground, it will be easy for us. You can produce like 200, 1,000 a day, because when the engine there, it's very easy to produce. If the government can help so that the engine can come out, and other things can come out, the mold come out and the engine come out, or wherever they are, the engine there, we can process the engine so that we get the engine, we can make the work easy for us.
Reports showed that blacksmithing is an emerging viable career path in the developed countries, capable of creating wealth and huge employment due to availability of raw materials and modernized tools. But in Nigeria, the story may be different as Yakubu is still using obsolete tools for production. Malam Yakubu Ibrahim therefore called on government to introduce policies that can assist in preserving the trade. In Abuja, Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News.
President Muhammadu Buhari said former Inspector General of Police Mustapha Balogun, popularly known as Tafa, did his utmost to ensure that the police performed its statutory responsibilities under a democratic dispensation. The statement issued on Friday by Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, said Tafa Balogun's penchant for boosting the morale of officers and men in the force during his tenure as IGP has been acknowledged by those who served under him. The President therefore commiserated with the family and friends and associates of the former Inspector General and the Nigerian police force. He prayed for the peaceful repose of the soul of the deceased. U.S. President Joe Biden's government on Thursday declared monkeypox a public health emergency, a move that should free up new funds, assist in data gathering, and allow the deployment of additional personnel in the fight against the disease. The move came as nationwide cases topped 6,600, around a quarter of them from New York State, and experts warned swift action was needed if the outbreak is to be contained in its early stages. Observers believe the real number of cases could be higher than official figures suggest, since symptoms in the current global outbreak, which began in May, have included subtle signs such as single lesions in addition to more familiar widespread rashes. This can lead to cases being missed or misdiagnosed, as the presentation is similar to common sexually transmitted infections. The U.S. has so far delivered some 600,000 Yenos vaccines originally developed against monkeypox's related virus, smallpox, but this number is still far short of the approximately 1.6 million people considered at highest risk and who need the vaccine most. And in sports, Tobi Amusan says she's exhausted after winning World 100-meter hurdles gold last month, but the Nigerian world record holder looked impressive on Friday as she cruised through the Commonwealth Games final. Amusan began the defense of her crown by finishing top of the qualifying times in 12.40 seconds in windy conditions. And finally, the Super Falcons of Nigeria dropped 7 places from 39th to 46th position in the latest FIFA Coca-Cola Women's World Ranking, CompleteSports.com reports. The latest ranking was published on FIFA's Women's World Cup verified Twitter handle on Friday. Despite dropping in the ranking, the Falcons remain number 1 in Africa, while new WAFCON champions Banyana of South Africa moved up from 58th spot to 54th and are now second on the continent. Hosts and runners-up at the last WAFCON, Morocco, climbed to 76th, while bronze medalist Zambia now occupy 80th. The European champions, 3 Lionesses of England, climbed 4 places to number 4 in the world. Germany, who lost to England in the European Champions final, climbed 3 spots to number 2, while reigning world champions United States of America maintained their number 1 spot. Chelsea have signed Spanish defender Akure from Premier League rivals Brighton on a 6-year contract, the Lagos club announced Friday. No fee was disclosed, but British media reports have valued the deal at £60 million. The 24-year-old should now be available for Chelsea's Premier League opener away to Everton on Saturday. The Spain wingback has now become Chelsea's latest pre-season signing, with Khalidou Koulibaly, Raheem Sterling and Carney Chukwuemeka all having arrived at Stamford Bridge. With this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.